Hi guys, welcome back to another live stream. Today I'm having this little fruit mukbang, doing a little live Q&A. What are you joining me? Apricots, melon, watermelon, tangerine, and grapes. Fudgy boy, wait there! Don't you be stealing that. We're just waiting the people joining the chat, Fudge. Right, sit down, come on. So I hope everybody's having a great Sunday. I hope you're all smashing your goals, whatever your goals are in life at the moment, whether it be recovery, just your professional life, or just getting through everyday life as we all do. We just try to live the life the best we possibly can. Come on, Fudge. I'm just waiting for folk to join the chat, Fudge. Watermelon, oh, it's life. Do you want some watermelon, Fudgy boy? Fudge is not vegan, by the way. Fudgy wants, oh, he wants some, oh. You want to try a bit? Want to try some? Oh, you like watermelon? Oh, there you go. Yeah, watermelon. Fudgy likes watermelon, see? Would you believe that? Oh, lovely. Want another bit, big man? We're getting the carbs in. Carbing the F up. Join in, Fudge. Oh, lovely. So I'll just get through this and then I'll start getting into the Q&A. I hope everybody that is joined in the chat, if there is anybody there. So, first off question anyway, if Fudgy will let me get this, is from Susie Snake. She asks, do I think veganism has helped or hindered my recovery? Absolutely. Hi Tronson's Bronze, how are you? Hope you're doing well, I hope you're having a great weekend, mate. So Susie Snake asks, do I think veganism has helped or hindered my recovery? 100% helped my recovery. Like I say, I don't recommend most people with eating disorders actually go vegan in eating disorder recovery, because when you have had an eating disorder, generally animal products are the... Nice to see that you're fine, mate. Oh, that's great. My dog's getting in the mukbang here. I'm just having a wee fruit mukbang. So, yeah, like I say, generally in eating disorder recovery, people obviously fear animal products because they are the most caloric dense. So, a lot of people come to veganism with a kind of idea in their mind that they can obviously restrict food groups and basically hide behind their eating disorder, using it as a mask and such likes. But there is a lot of people that obviously do come to veganism for the ethical reasons, such as the animals, such as myself. Some people even come to veganism just for the health reasons, to recover for their eating disorder, and then further down the line they get the ethical connection to the animals. That's what it's all about. For me specifically, I came to veganism for the animals. I always have done. Like I say, I'm an animal activist. I do for Save Movement Scotland and such. And it's opened the doors that my eating disorder closed. And what I mean by that is everything that I used to fear with my eating disorder recovery, all the food groups, such as things like pizza, cakes, all the fear foods that you get with eating disorders, I now enjoy every single food group that I can possibly get. Chocolate, pizza, anything, like I say, everything is an eating disorder recovery is medicine. And for me, knowing what I'm putting into my body is not only helping myself, but helping thousands of animals all over the world. That is the biggest motivation. And when you've got an eating disorder, that's something that you lose as motivation to go on in life. And veganism has gave me that. And that's a great question, Susie Snake. So, the next one, Fudge, just wait there. You get a bit, yeah. He's in for the fruit. So, the next one is actually from Debbie Mullen. She actually asked me this on the Vegan Glasgow Facebook group. She said that she's reducing antidepressants, sertraline, which is basically Zoloft. She said she was on 200 milligrams for 8 years and then down to 150 and then 100, and now she's actually having debilitating fatigue. That's a great question. What I would say to you is, have you really stopped these really quickly, or is a doctor actually tapered them down slowly? Because generally speaking, when people are obviously on antidepressants, they can suffer fatigue for like 72 hours, which is obviously 3 days. But if you're having severe fatigue, hi Sandcat, how are you? I was just having this little mukbang, you missed quite a lot of it. Just watch this, Fudge is in the act, he loves his fruit. Here's Fudge. Fudge is joining in the mukbang. So yeah, like I say, obviously reducing things like antidepressants, the best way to do it is obviously to be tapered down slowly. I don't know if Debbie's actually said here that she's actually reduced it dead quickly. I think that's probably why she has been suffering with debilitating fatigue. But what I would say is, yeah, we're definitely, he loves his fruit, he's getting right into the fruit lately. So like I say, definitely speak to your GP, that's what I would say. Speak to your general practitioner, because there is things like the Live Well clinic, which you can actually get here in Scotland. They'll refer you to classes that you can do, exercises and such, because exercise has actually showed to actually help fatigue actually from reducing your antidepressants. So I would say that's something that you actually need to look into. But if you have obviously been getting fatigue for more than 72 hours, definitely look into something, because there actually is medicinal drugs that can actually give you to help with fatigue. But obviously you want to go the kind of more homeopathic route rather than doing it naturally, because you don't want to obviously be basically given one drug to actually combat reducing another. So that's a great question, definitely. The next question is actually from Oracle Jen. She asks my thoughts on violent video games. Fudge, you're terrible. So my thoughts on violent video games. I know a lot of people actually say that violent video games have been shown to obviously bring in things like violence to young kids and such like. My opinion on that's absolutely nonsense, like I say, because you know that these things are not real. If you're one of these persons that have got that, people that have got that in your head, you're going to do these things anyway. I don't see why first-person shooters and such likes are going to make you go out and randomly shoot a whole neighbourhood. I just don't see why that's possible. Like I say, I don't see why that would be any kind of thing to actually induce these kind of things on people. But obviously, maybe some people are triggered by these things, I don't know, but for me personally, I know that is make-believe, it's not real world, and I can play video games and take myself away from that. Yeah, I can play first shooters and things like that, and I know that I'm not going to go out and absolutely shoot the whole neighbourhood, you know what I mean? So the next question is from Leslie Jovia. Why? She actually says to me, as a fan of Queen, I'm overjoyed to see the music brought back to life to newer generations. What's my thoughts on Queen and the Adam Lambert tour? Well, that's absolutely great. Like I say, I'm a massive, massive Queen fan. Yes, Sandcat, he's in the act. Oh! So, like I say, I'm a massive Queen fan, and it's great to actually see it brought back to life, because there'll never be another Freddie Mercury, in my opinion. Freddie Mercury was the absolute, the best, but to actually, they obviously had things like the Queen Theatre concert, the Queen musical and such likes, but to actually see it brought back to life, you can go and see it live and see the songs brought back to life to a younger generation. I think that's absolutely magnificent. But for me personally, there'll never be another Freddie Mercury. Yes, Adam Lambert is really, really good. I think he's a great, great singer. And obviously, you've got all the rest of the original Queen band. But for me personally, I would say, yeah, it's great to see Queen back, but there's never going to be another Freddie Mercury. You're desperate for fruit if you're fruit. He's terrible, this dog, so he is. So how's everybody doing? You're all having a good Sunday? I hope you're having a great day. I've just had quite a quiet day, because tomorrow I'm actually off to the vigil at the slaughterhouse that I actually used to work at. So I'll have a vlog up on my channel probably next week, and that's going to be quite traumatic. This is the first one in actually Ayrshire where I stay, and I'll actually be helping run this one, so a lot of responsibility on my shoulders. Yeah, exactly, Sharon Cat. Thanks, Dan Cat, I really appreciate that. I'll try my best, definitely. Like I say, there's no other thing for it, because actually the next question is actually from Lost TBA. She's one of my dear friends here in Scotland. She's a vegan activist as well. Her son actually suffers from severe autism and things like that, so she's got a lot of work in her hands. She's an absolute inspiration. She actually says, do I feel bearing witness at vigils should be taken a step further, and do I feel more should be done to find legal loopholes in the system to somewhat prevent animals getting as far as the slaughterhouse? Definitely, like I say, because obviously we call ourselves the Save Movement, but at the end of the day, are we really saving animals? No, we aren't, because these poor sentient beings are going to their death every single time we go to a vigil. Yeah, I always put myself in the position of the animals, and I say to myself, if I was them, would I want to actually show the cruelty that goes on to me? Of course I would, and that's what we actually do. We bear witness and show the cruelty. The look in their eyes that they know that what's going to happen. But I would like it to be taken a step further. Like I say, there's got to be some loophole that we can actually do something and get in there and actually help the animals further, because at the end of the day, we're never going to bring a vegan world unless we actually stop the animals being killed, because like I say, it's a supply and demand. If we keep demanding it, they're going to keep supplying, and this is what it's all about. But it's a difficult one, because like I say, you just wonder, you say to yourself, there's got to be some loophole that we can actually do to save the animals more, because you think of animal cruelty going on in your community, people would be brought up and obviously prosecuted. Yet on farms, this is happening every single day, and it's happening in slaughterhouses as well. So I feel we've actually got to start getting more people in the slaughterhouses, basically moles if you like, to actually show the cruelty that's going on in there, and reporting this and getting the authorities to actually go in there and try and get the slaughterhouses shut down, because that is going to be the only way forward to actually stop the animals being killed. Because if these establishments are there, this is always going to happen. People keep demanding it, they're going to keep supplying. So it's a catch-22, it really, really is. Thanks very much for that, Loss. I really, really appreciate that. It was a brilliant question. The next one is from Inspiring Alien. What are your favourite spiritual practices to do in daily life? Absolutely great question. Hi Tim, nice to see you here, mate. I'm just about to answer your question in a little while. So like I say, inspiring, Elaine actually asked what's my things that I like to do spiritually in everyday life. Obviously, reading the Bible is a big part for me, but like I say, I respect everybody's religion. We're all one. Like I say, everybody's got their own interpretation of what spiritual is. For me, Christianity is a big part of my recovery and my daily life. I read the Bible every day. Also as well, meditation is a big part. I do that every single morning and every single night. Like I say, getting in touch with my inner self, and basically, it's the biggest part of spiritualism is meditation. Like I say, the Namaste, and basically what it says. Like I say, ahimsa, no, basically what means no cruelty, and that's what it's all about. That's a big part for me. I really think that really is. So Shauna Mead actually asks as well. She says, Shani said, I joined the LDS Church and later said I left. As someone who also left, I'm curious your reasoning for doing so. That's a great one. Like I say, I was in the LDS Church as well. At that point, actually, if you don't know, my brother-in-law is actually in a gay marriage, and they actually said to me that I have a cold actually, but it's not too bad. How are you? I hope it gets better, Sandcat. So, like I say, I was in the LDS Church, and they actually said to me that I had to choose their religion or my brother, because they don't believe people should be gay, and they obviously hate coloured people as well. And like I say, the LDS Church, it's really a skewed perception of any kind of faith, because they believe God lives on a planet called Kolob, and he was a human person just like us. Nice to see you, Matt. Nice to see you. So they believe that he was just a normal person like you and me, and then he became a god, and he's married, and if we follow their faith, we can become a god too. So, and they do things like, obviously, like I say, they believe that you shouldn't have, like, you've got to wear like church garments and such, like underwear and such, and some of the things that they actually said was absolutely terrible. Like I say, I don't blame the church itself, it's the people that sit within it, because I respect every religion, but the people within it were quite bad people, to say the least. They just hated on everybody, whether they obviously hated on gay and homosexual people and things like that. Yeah, exactly, Sandcat. I can totally understand it wasn't good for his mental health. It was absolutely terrible. It really was. Like I say, they turned round to me and they said to me, well, you either choose your brother-in-law or you choose your faith. I just can't understand it. Like I say, it was absolutely disgusting. So, but you know what I mean? It's terrible. Jesse Moo says, what age did I notice I had an eating disorder? That's a good one. Like I say, I've actually suffered with an eating disorder, as you know, for 20 years now, which started in 1997 with the loss of my mum. And like I say, I was working in an abattoir at that point and a semi-professional footballer. I did actually understand that I had an eating disorder right at 1997 when I actually lost my mum, because I knew that I had an eating disorder. At first, at the very early stages, I thought to myself I was just getting fitter. I was eating healthier and such likes, and then it came to the point that actually I knew I had an eating disorder, and I hid behind it, because yeah, Jessie's absolutely great, Matt. She really is. She's absolutely amazing. One of the nicest people you could actually meet. She's what veganism is all about. Like I say, you see all this drama online and such. She puts out a great message. She's absolutely amazing. But like I say, that's what happened. I did know when I was 17 years old that I had an eating disorder, but I obviously had it for the perception that obviously people look at you and they say, oh, you can't have an eating disorder, you're not female, because it's this white girl privileged illness type attitude. But like I say, eating disorders don't discriminate against anybody, whether you're white, whatever colour you are, your spirituality, whether you're rich or poor, anything at all. I say they don't discriminate against anybody. Nice to see you, Nat. So the next one is my dear friend Tim Gare. She's in the chat. He says, can I say Ras Al Ghul? the correct way. I think I said it, Ras Al Ghul, and what that actually means is Ghul's head or demon's head, and it's basically a super villain foe of actually Batman. So I hope I said that well, Tim. You can let me know. I've probably buggered it up, but Ras Al Ghul, I think that's the way you said it. Nice to see you as well, Matt. Have a great day. I hope you're doing well, mate. Have a good one. So the next question is from Diabetic Dad. He's got a great channel on YouTube as well. I thoroughly recommend you go and check out. Is it Rash Al Ghul? You said Ras Al Ghul. You're bugger, you. So yeah, Rash Al Ghul. That's it. So Diabetic Dad, like I say, he says to me, exercise, how does it impact my life and diet? Does it increase my appetite and improve my overall well-being? Definitely, like I say, but it's a catch-22 sword, like I say, because it gets to the point that you're actually... Like I say, it gets to the point that you're actually... If you can imagine it, you're using exercise as a way to actually have food. That's absolutely terrible, and that's one thing that eating disorders do. You obviously do another thing, but you can get to the point you're using exercise as a way of restricting. For me, I suffer with exercise athletica, which you'll all know if you've watched my channel, but it does get to the point now that I've cut down in exercise. I'm doing a lot of yoga and such likes, so I've swapped exercise high impact for like low impact stuff such as yoga. It's really helped me quite a lot, and it's definitely improved my health and my well-being so much. Obviously with being vegan as well, that's a big part of it. But yeah, it all comes to the same thing. Like I say, food in abundance and exercise, but not going overboard. Great question, Diabetic Dad. So what's the next one? Try to see where we are in this. Just catching up in this bit, guys. So the next one is actually from Nat. She actually asks, are vegan products okay for those with allergies? Like I say, allergies actually affect round about 1 in 70 adults and 8% kids in the UK. But actually, the difference between a food allergy... James Parker, thanks very much. A true allergy causes an immune system reaction that obviously affects numerous organs in the body. It can cause a range of different symptoms. Let's say in some cases an allergic food reaction can be severe or life-threatening. In contrast with food intolerance, symptoms are generally less serious and often limit to things like digestive problems. So I hope that kind of explains the difference between digestive, obviously allergies and intolerance, sorry. But why obviously is milk bad for you? This is a really important thing. Why is obviously things like milk bad for you? Because this all comes under dairy. Let's say you can get every kind of dairy substitute you can think of. You've got vegan milks, you've got things like soy milk, almond milk, rice milk, oat milk, hemp milk. You've got vegan cheeses, you've got vegan butter. Everything you can get dairy, you can obviously get a vegan options for. But like I say, animal milk has long obviously been claimed to be obviously this kind of go-to source for calcium and such likes by the dairy industry, as we all know. But it turns out milk is actually really bad for you. Like I say, calcium from animal milk is not absorbed as well as plant-based milks, and it can be accompanied by a lot of different problems. Osteoporosis is one that's actually well known to be caused by it. In a Swedish study, actually, like I say, women who actually consumed large quantities of dairy milk were more likely to obviously sustain fractures than who actually drank little to no milk at all. Obviously, prostate cancer is another one. There's actually been evidence that actual consumption of milk and other dairy products lead to an increased risk of prostate cancer. So like I say, conversely, dairy-free diets have obviously been slow to progress the risk of cancers. Obviously, lactose intolerance is another one. Like I say, cow's milk obviously contains a lot of sugar. Lactose can obviously be difficult for people to obviously digest, resulting in things like bloating and such like symptoms and nausea, cramps, gas. And obviously diarrhea is another one. Like I say, it can obviously develop later in life and obviously result in months worsening symptoms. Don't bother, Tim, absolutely. You get this. Acne is another one. Like I say, in multiple studies, the consumption of all types of milk, cow's milk, was linked to an increased prevalence and severe of acne in both boys and girls. Cholesterol is another one. Like I say, a single serving of milk contains as much as 24 milligrams of cholesterol, whereas vegan food is obviously no cholesterol at all, which obviously you've got the risk of heart disease, cancers and such likes as well. Yeah, definitely, Sandcamp. A Swedish study actually showed that women who actually consumed 4 or more servings of dairy milk were quite likely to things like ovarian cancer, which my wife suffered with. Exactly, Sandcamp, cutting out things, get pimples too, like I say. Obviously you've got milk allergies and such likes as well. This guy keeps coming back, yeah. Let's say, unlike lactose intolerance, milk allergies usually in young children are characterised by potentially strong and dangerous reactions such as vomiting and obviously anaphylaxis as well. And obviously antibiotics, I say many cows are actually pumped full of antibiotics, as we know. The practice is obviously leading to antibiotic resistant bacteria, which obviously may decrease the effectiveness in antibiotics in us humans. So that's one thing to obviously consider. So like I say, saturated fats are another one. Like I say, a single serving of whole milk can contain more than 20% of your recommended daily allowance of saturated fat. But even 1% milk is actually 8% of the RDA. So if you consume such as maybe 3 servings of whole milk, you're already at 60% of your daily before you even eat any food. Obviously weight gain's another one. Like I say, despite the industry claims, like I say, a study of actually more than 12,000 children actually showed that the more milk they drank, the more weight they actually gained. And skim milk and obviously 1% milk appeared basically counterintuitively, like I say, to lead to more weight gain as well than drinking, say, 2% of the whole milk. The study was obviously found that obviously replacing soda with milk did not lead to any weight loss. And there's obviously bone loss, you need to take that into consideration, like I say. Instead of obviously promoting bone health, animal protein and dairy products has actually got a calcium leaching effect as well. So like I say, these are all health factors combined with the environmentally damaging nature of the large-scale milk production that obviously make it clear that it's really, really bad for you. So I hope that kind of puts that into kind of perspective and things about. But the one thing that I want to put out there, guys, is a lot of people have a lot of problems giving up cheese, like I say, and there is a good reason for that. Because like I say, that actually there's things called casomorphins in cheese, and if you don't know about that, skim milk, the fat they scoop up, they feed it to pigs, the whole thing is messed up. Exactly, 100%. So I say, if you talk to anyone that recently has obviously switched or considered switching to a plant-based diet, more often than not, they obviously claim that cheese is really, really the big weakness, and there is a good reason for that. Exactly, Vince Q. And there is a good reason for that, and that's casomorphins, which is basically protein fragments derived from the digestion of the milk protein, which is casein. Let's say casomorphins are basically opiates, if you can imagine it. It has the same effect in the brain as things like obviously heroin and such likes as well. Let's say, and these are known as the world's oldest drugs, and obviously can develop with the ongoing like withdrawal symptoms and such likes. Let's say, and casein is a really, really hot topic for vegans and obviously people that's plant-based as well, because it can be found deceptively listed in a lot of different vegan cheeses and such likes. You obviously may be familiar with things like casein, and there's kind of some obviously whey, but casein's obviously really, really hard to put on. So that's why a lot of people obviously have a lot of trouble giving up cheeses, because it's got that opioid effect. Let's say it's like basically like you can get withdrawal symptoms. But vegan cheeses are really, really hard because a lot of them don't actually melt very well. But I'm going to show you a few plant-based things that I've actually got in my kitchen that may actually help a little. I'll show you my milks and such likes that I've actually got. So I actually use the Almond Breeze almond milk. That's one of my favourites. and I'm actually using the soya strawberry as well. Stop, Tommy, too. And oh, this is another one I'm actually using, Cocoa Whip, which is actually from soya too. It's like a whipped cream as well. That's really, really good. Yogurts, I've got plenty of yogurts. These are actually soya yogurts made by Alpro in chocolate flavour, so you can get all your yogurts as well, like I say. This is a great cheese if you guys have ever actually had a pizza and such likes. This is tofuti, very creamy. Like I say, you can put that on your pizza. It's absolutely great, mozzarella style. I thoroughly recommend that. So you've got a lot of different dairy things. I've actually got the Violife creamy spreading cheese, which is actually original flavour. What else have I got here? Vitalite dairy-free butter, so you've got that. Like I say, butter, cream, everything. There's nothing you can't get. Even salad cream. I've actually got the dairy-free, free-from salad cream. Australia has loads of tofu stuff. Well, my sister loves it. Yeah, it's absolutely great. Salad cream as well. Like I say, this is actually from the free-from range. It's absolutely vegan as well, as you can see in the back. This is another one. I've actually got Tofuti creamy vegan cream cheese. This is actually garlic and herbs. I thoroughly recommend that. And the best cheese, I've got to say this to you guys. If you guys are in the UK, this is something you really need to go and check out. This is from Freeform, the new Tesco range. It's chili, cheddar and jalapeno. This stuff melts really well. It's absolutely delicious. If you can see there, you can see the jalapenos in it and things. It's quite spicy, but it's absolutely lovely. So, look at, I've got quite a new few things. I'll show you some of the new things I've got. This is, I actually got this new, you've actually seen this on my channel. Maybe send some of to Tim, yeah. This is actually new vegan fillets. It's cordon bleu style that actually have crispy fillets with vegan cheese and smoked ham in the centre. They're actually from Vigourmet, so they should be absolutely delicious. I've actually got this Southwest barbecue steaks as well. They're the new ones. You coming in?
Aye, probably not.
Laura coming in, if you don't know. Your oven on?
Aye, the chickens are...
So yeah, she's got a dinner on at the moment. So yeah, like I say, there's absolutely tons of vegan options you can get for dairy, like I say. But obviously soya is one that a lot of people kind of struggle with because people actually, yeah, thanks Darren, like I say, people struggle obviously with soya intolerance, and this is one thing that they worry about obviously coming to veganism because of things like obviously soya. So there's obviously tofu and things like that, all the kind of staples that a lot of people use with veganism can actually be really bad. Like I say, the thing that I would say about soya and gluten-free and vegan, like I say, you can do that. Like I say, one thing really important is that if you are doing that and you want to go soya-free and gluten-free and such like, is you've got things like broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, kale, cabbage, and obviously bok choy as well. Dress a bra and you will be fantastic. Yeah, no problem, whatever. Have you tried tempeh? Yeah, I have tried tempeh, Sandcat. I really have. I love tempeh. Like I say, obviously you can obviously, you don't obviously want to get things like, you can make things like a lentil loaf as well, which is a great thing. You can do that. And obviously I would really recommend get yourself, yeah, you love tempeh as well, Tim. That's great. Like I say, I would obviously recommend you get yourself a gluten-free vegan dessert cookbook and such likes as well. Like I say, you can obviously make different types of vegan desserts, muffins and such likes as well. Grains are another one. Like I say, that just because you're obviously you're not doing gluten doesn't mean you actually can't get grains. Like I say, you've got quinoa, you've got oats, you've got rice, you've got protein as spelt, wheat and rye, which is a really great one. Just have baked beans if you're feeling lazy. That's what I do, yeah. Bok choy, food of kings, definitely. I love bok choy. I was kind of wary of trying it at the very first time because I wasn't sure about how good it was, but it was really, really good, like I say. Obviously as well, you've got obviously gazpacho and obviously coconut flour. That's another one I would really say. Like I say, also as well, starches, they'll keep you full. Like I say, whenever whether you're actually things like sweet potatoes, you love cabbagey things. I do as well, Sandcat, yeah. Obviously you've got kabocha squash, like I say, you've got things like that. Like I say, sweet potatoes and such like. So obviously get all your starches in, that's what I would say really. Shut up, fried tofu is the shit. Fried tofu is amazing, Tim. Obviously as well, like I say, and you can obviously get lots of beans in, that's what I would really, really say. Like I say, the magical fruit, and that is beans. Like I say, they obviously lower cholesterol and triglyceride levels as well. Like I say, unlike animal proteins, which obviously do the kind of antithesis of this as well. Vegetables are pretty dashed, but that's yeah, they are. Like I say, fibre and resistant starch are obviously where it's at, and that's really, really important. Like I say, and beans have mass quantities of that. Like I say, get yourself some things like dried beans. Like I say, you can get them really, really cheap in your supermarkets. Like I say, they're all staples. Obviously, find some canned beans as well that are obviously that aren't contaminated with the salt out and all that type of stuff. You know that as well. I say, what better obviously way to get your protein for a beautiful bounty of beans, a natural source. Like I say, just forget those kind of things like soybeans, because you obviously want to stay away from that. Like I say, stay away from soya because you're obviously trying to do that. So soybeans is an obviously important one. And obviously drink plenty of fluids. So actually, I'm just looking at this TV programme, and look at this. When I'm talking about this, look what's on TV at the moment. Glorifying looking after cattle, livestock. Look at this, disgusting.
This is my winner here today. The Shetland Yow. I have a great admiration. She is a tremendous hardy breed that would live anywhere in the country, and tough. And real.
Yeah, exactly, Sandcat. Like I say, it's absolutely terrible. Like I say, last night I was actually watching a programme, and they were actually, what they were doing is they were actually showing you weighing the cattle and such likes, and they had these electric prods tied to their back, and they were showing you x-ray scans of the cattle, and they were saying, oh, this is how the cattle will look when it's on your plate. Look at the lovely marbling and the fat and such likes. It's disgusting. Like I say, they just basically treated the cattle as if they were pits of dirt. It's disgusting, it really, really is. But yeah, like I say, I hope you have all kind of enjoyed this little stream. I just wanted to come on and chat away and do the Q&A and such like. So I've thoroughly loved you all coming on and chatting. I've got a lot I want to achieve this year. To let you know a little bit about some things that I've got planned, I'm actually training to be an eating disorder specialist. I'm actually doing a therapy course, so I'm actually going to start helping people on my channel if they want to have Skype calls with me. It'll all be free of charge. Like I say, a lot of people have said to me that I should maybe start a thing like a Patreon and such likes, but I don't know, because it would obviously help funding my courses and such likes, but I don't know. Do you guys think that would be something that I should do? Like I say, even at $1 a month or such likes, to try and help with that? And I would obviously do a lot of things like helping people out with Skype calls, doing specialist videos for them and such. I'm thinking about it, I don't know. And I'm obviously as well thinking about actually doing a yoga course as well, Bins Q says, thank Tommy, good night and have a great day. Please let her know about your course. I'd love a whole video about how you go about it. I will do that, definitely, like I say. Man, Kato, you can't forget the dildo. Dildo, oh. So, let me know, guys. Like I say, I send you all my love. I hope you have a great Sunday. As remember, as always, as I always say, binge on life, purge negativity and starve guilty feelings. Sending you all my love, Sandcat, Bins Q, Tommy, can you shifting? Can you shitting? Oh, sending you all my love. Speak to you all soon.